Well, I have to tell you, usually I'm the one that says I'm the original farmer's daughter. But I think I've just met the original farmer's daughter, who is Melissa Baer, and we're here on her farm, Vibrant Farms, just outside of beautiful Baden, Ontario, to find out what it means to be a farmer's daughter producing great produce like we see in the background, the beef cattle.
Yes, so we do grass-fed organic beef. It's organic, so certified organic, and what that means is basically you don't get pesticides, and that in turn helps your body digest it better, because you're not, it's not inhibiting your nutrient uptake. So especially in animal, it's almost more important, because we get what's called bioaccumulation. So if they're eating a lot of grass, which is their job, they eat a lot of grass, and then it comes together and it makes a lot more pesticides in accumulation. So.
Is there a greater awareness of the consumer now just about the beef or what they're eating, do you think? Does it matter more than ever?
I think it's always mattered. I think more now people are starting to understand a little bit more. They're kind of become like, I guess, like, armchair farmers, where they sort of, you can Google and you understand, okay, well, if my animals are eating this, then I'm eating those, and the math just doesn't work out in that. So like 4 years ago when I started, or 5 years ago now, when I started selling grass-fed beef, people look at me like I have two heads, and now they're like, oh, that's so exciting.
Well, and I think part of it is, you're right, we can go on the internet, we can find out information. The other thing is, people are doing more of this. They're going out, they're meeting the farmer, they're finding out more about where their food is coming from, and with that comes a better appreciation of the animal itself, how it's being taken care of, how it's being fed.
Yeah, I was just at a Food Link put on a breakfast club, and we were at Taco Farm, and Nick said, when you know what goes into it, you're just going to waste less, you're not going to burn it, there's just more of an appreciation that goes into that. So that's, I think, why, and then also on top of that, there's more money kept in farmers' pockets, and there's less of a middleman, and not only less of a middleman for a financial reason, but from like an educational knowledge reason. So
you do a bit of mixed farming here.
Yes, so we have broiler chickens, which are basically what you eat for meat, and we raise those all outside, and we can show you the little pens that they're in, and they're pecking at the dirt, and then eggs as well, but we're only allowed to have our 100 for eggs and 300 for chickens, so unless we wanted to pay quota, so that's what we do there. And there's a guy who does honey, so we have all the bees to pollinate everything and make everything grow really well, and honey as well. So
see, this is taking me right back to my farming days, because we hear so much about the big mass farms, the factory farms now, but growing up as a kid, I was the same. Our farm had a little bit of everything: beef cattle, milk cattle, we had pork, we had chickens, we you kind of had it all, and you were self-sustaining, I guess.
I think someone said to me very aptly that farming never was a business before. It was a way of life, and you supported yourself and your neighbors, and now it's more of a support and feed people, right? So it's sort of shifted a little bit the focus, and so now we raise more cattle than our family could ever eat, and do all that.
I have heard that the best part of farming is living on a farm and farming. The worst part is trying to make a living living on a farm and farming, right? So it's
the key to farming is to have another job. That's sort of so what I do is I do dinners with the farmers.
I was going to say, either have another farm or be extremely creative, which you are. So you do these dinners. Tell us a little bit about the dinners that you do here at Vibrant Farm.
I bring people out. I've had upwards of 45 people come, which I don't want to do that. Do 10 to 20 in there, and people come out, and we've literally had like a whole train of people walk out to the beef cattle. They were, of course at that time, all the way at the back of the field, but they're all like, yeah, let's go. Walked on the cow path, and then because cows are really curious, and because I've had so many of them, they kind of come over like, what are you doing over there? So yeah, we do a tour. They get to milk our family cow and collect the eggs and see how we farm and why the chickens are running around removing all my mulch from my flower bed, and all of that sort of silly things, right? And then we sit down, and because I've had a lot of health challenges growing up. It's just me. It's odd, and then I played rugby and started to eat like very what I would call mainstream, and realized that it didn't work for me. And when I came back and started eating food from the farm, it started to really turn things around for me. So I talk about that.
Well, and that's a huge thing. I mean, you practice what you preach, and it all came from experience from you because of your health challenges. You found that, eating organically, eating more clean, knowing what you were eating made sense.
Like just like the whole food. So, I started drinking milk from my cows, and I started, eating grass-fed beef again instead of just regular beef. And for the most part, like, I wouldn't have known the difference. That's how I was growing up. But then when I went away and had to eat other ways because of the convenience of it, I was like, oh, this doesn't look the same, or or it doesn't taste the same, and then realized how much there is to that. And when people say, well, is there really that much of a difference? I'm like, well, here's my experience. So I cook in a way that, and most people, I did a dinner or lunch for a business in Guelph, and they were all like, whoa, this tastes good and it's good for you.
Well, it's funny, and we talk to the fact that so much of society reacts to health problems, but they've already occurred. We're trying to be a little more proactive and saying, let's make sure our bodies are getting the right input, right?
Absolutely.
The right things in our body.
I was just talking to someone, my favorite nutritionist today, and she has had autoimmune stuff, and like a lot of people, she experiences it later in life. But she said, I just want to yell at all the young people and tell them, treat your body well. So that's, I guess, the moral of the story.
Unfortunately, sometimes we learn that just a little too late, that what goes in, it's like the car and the fuel.
That's right.
The fuel that you put in produces what you're going down the road
That's
with.
right.
So we all need to learn that too.
There is something to you are what you eat. So.
I know. Well, I'm so glad to be back out in the farm again.
I bet. This is your comfort zone, isn't it?
And it's not every day I can wear my boots to work.
And you don't complain about the smell. Some people are like, whoa.
Not at all. Not at all. It's peaceful. It's nature. It just feels wonderful.
Yeah. Cool.
No. Well, thank you for kind of touring us around and letting us take a look at your life.
Problem.
And if people want to find out more, they can find out more about you online.
Yeah, theorganicfarmersdaughter.com is my website, and so all of that there. I blog there about, my musings.
Book
and
the dinners.
Book the dinners there.
Right.
Actually, I'm doing 50% off if you download my shopping guide. So you get 50% off dinner on the farm. So.
I like it already. And here, with the farmer's daughter at Vibrant Farms. Thanks for joining us, Melissa.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming out.
All right, we'll be back. All of us will be back.
All the cows migrated.